All right, let's talk about it. That big, ambitious goal. Reaching the C1 level in German. It's something so many of us dream about. Today, we're going to cut right through the hype and look at what it actually takes to get there. You've seen the headlines, right? Learn German to C1 in 3 months. It's the ultimate language learning fantasy, this idea of a speed run to fluency. But is it even possible? We're about to find out, separating the myth from the very real and honestly more interesting reality. So to answer that question, let's just start with some simple math. A Reddit user broke it down and wow, 11 hours a day, every single day. And look, even if you could physically do that, your brain can only absorb so much. There are diminishing returns. That 11th hour just isn't going to be as effective as the first. It's just not how learning works. And that really gets us to the heart of the matter, what I'm calling the C1 speedrun myth. To understand the real path, we first have to agree on what the destination even is. What does C1 proficiency actually mean? And what kind of commitment are we truly talking about here? Well, according to the official framework, the CEFR, C1 is not just about getting by. You're considered a proficient user, advanced. You can understand really complex stuff, even things that aren't said directly. You can use German flexibly, effectively, whether you're at a party, in a university lecture, or a business meeting. I mean, this is a seriously high bar. And here are the official numbers to prove it. The Goethe Institute estimates that for an English speaker, you're looking at 600 to 750 cumulative hours of class time to hit C1. But just look at how those numbers grow. The jump from one level to the next gets bigger and bigger. The climb gets much, much steeper the higher you go. And here's the thing, even that official number might be on the low side. If you talk to people who've actually done it, the consensus is that for true, comfortable mastery, you're probably looking at well over 1,000 hours. We're not just talking about passing a test here. We're talking about the deep, automatic learning that C1 really stands for. This brings us to probably the most important distinction we need to make. We've got to be really honest about our goal. There is a huge difference between cramming to pass an exam and achieving genuine fluency. One gets you a piece of paper, a certificate. The other, it gives you a skill you'll have for the rest of your life. They are not the same thing. So if studying like a maniac for 11 hours a day isn't the way, then what is? Well, it starts with the first pillar of a realistic path. You have to live the language. You have to build what we're calling an immersion bubble. Basically, creating your own little German-speaking world, no matter where you live. So how do you do it? Well, here are some super practical tips from people who are already at C1. Change your phone's language. Seriously, you'll learn essential words every single time you unlock it. Watch the daily news on Tagesschau. Find podcasts about stuff you're already into, like sports or business. The idea is to weave German into the fabric of your day until it's just there. And this story from a learner named Anke just perfectly shows why that immersion is so powerful. Living with a native speaker gave him vocabulary in real-world contexts. And like he says, when you hear a word from a real person in a real situation, it just sticks in your brain in a way a flashcard never, ever could. But just soaking it all in is only half the battle. To really put your foot on the gas, you have to pair that passive learning with our second pillar, an active learning toolkit. These are targeted exercises that really push your skills forward. Check this out. It's a killer 3-in-1 exercise from a learner named Devanch. It's so simple. First, you listen. Watch a short German video, take notes. Second, you write. Use your notes to create a summary and get it corrected. And third, you speak. You memorize that better, corrected version and practice saying it until it feels natural. Boom! In one routine, you're hitting listening, writing, and speaking. And when it comes to vocab, it's not about quantity, it's about being smart. Forget writing down every single new word. Instead, focus on the words that you keep getting wrong. And here's a great little mental shortcut to remember. The rule of 3. The idea is, once you've seen and used a new word in 3 different places, it's much more likely to be yours for good. Okay, this brings us to the final pillar. And honestly, It might be the most critical one of all. The journey to C1 is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And that means you have to have a strategy for the psychological side of things. You have to master the mental game. It all comes down to this simple, powerful mantra from a learner named Petra. Aim for progress, not perfection. Because if you expect yourself to be perfect, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment, and you'll probably quit. German is complex. So instead of chasing this impossible ideal, just focus on making a little bit of progress every single day. Celebrate those small wins. And this gets right to the core of it. The fear of making a mistake is the single biggest thing that holds people back. You have to be willing to sound silly, to get things wrong, to embarrass yourself. The people who learn fastest aren't the ones who avoid errors, they're the ones who embrace them. So, there you have it. We've busted the myth of the 3-month speedrun, and we've laid out a path that's realistic and, most importantly, doable. This isn't about finding a magic shortcut. It's about smart, consistent work built on a really solid foundation. So let's just recap it one more time. The real path to C1 stands on these 3 pillars. Number 1, your immersion bubble. Surround yourself with the language every day. Number 2, your active toolkit. Use focused exercises to push all your skills. And number 3, your mental game. Learn to love your mistakes and focus on progress, never perfection. The roadmap to C1 isn't some big secret. It's right here. It's a mix of immersion, active practice, and mental toughness. The path is clear. So the only real question left is, what's your first step going to be today? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.